Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. I'm going to go out to the barn today and pay my respects to an old friend that I think is dying. It's not a horse, it's not a dog or a cat. Believe it or not, it's my tractor battery. This battery has been with me literally since I started my YouTube channel, so we go back a long way. Anytime you've seen a battery up until now on my YouTube channel, it's been this battery. That battery has lasted forever. The tractor is a 2003 model. I bought it in 2010 used. This was at least the second battery that had been in it because it's a Case IH battery and a new Holland tractor, so it wasn't the original battery. And I don't know if we can tell the date on this thing or not. Yeah, right there it is. What year is it? It's a 2006 model battery. Wow. And that thing has lasted all these years. But now, here's the problem. I've left the key on this tractor. I've come out to start it in the dead of winter to feed round bales when it was so cold the tractor had barely turned over, and it has always started. And now it's dying, and I hate it because I know any battery I buy for it's not going to be as good as this one was. But we're going to try to revive it today. We're going to take it off and see if we can't bring it back to life, because I don't want to lose this battery and because I'm cheap. Let's get started. You know, usually when you have a battery that's gone bad, if you use it fairly often, it's a result of either a bad connection or corrosion. But this one, I think we've got a good connection. That is solid as a rock even after I take the bolt loose. And there's no corrosion here, so that's not the problem. Let's see. Yeah, that one's a little looser, but not much. So we're going to take it off. A couple of weeks ago, my daughter went back to college, and she called me from a gas station up the road, and her car wouldn't start. And I went up to see if I could help her, and there was a garden growing on one battery terminal, and I could move it with my hand. I know that's not being a good dad, not keeping that from happening, but we got her going. If you have a corroded battery terminal, you can pour Coca-Cola soda drink on the top of it, and it'll eat that mess away. And then you got to clean the sticky off of it, and that's what we did. We were at a convenience store where she was getting gas, and I went and got a can of Coke and poured it on the terminal, and it ate all that corrosion away, so that made it a lot easier to clean up. But then I'm going to check and make sure, you know, as terminals age, maybe there is something in here around one of these terminals that's keeping it from getting current to the connections. And so we're going to shine those up a little bit. We're going to charge the battery and see if we can bring it back to life. And then if that doesn't work, I've got my last ditch effort, and I'll tell you about that here in a minute. Now, before I try to charge the battery, I'm going to clean the top of it off just a little bit. Don't want any dirt in the equation. And then I'm going to take some steel wool and run around these terminals to get them shined up good. And hopefully, if there was a bad connection, the battery will charge, I can put it back in and it'll start the tractor. I don't think that's going to be the case. But we want to get these nice and shiny before we put them back on or charge it. We'll always charge our batteries outside. You don't want to ever have a spark. You don't want to ever smoke around a battery being charged. I don't know if it's wise or not, but I like to put mine up on a little non-conductor stand when I'm charging them. I don't like to have it solid on the concrete. I don't know if that really matters or not. You know, this one terminal has got a coating of grease on it. I wonder if that could be part of the problem. We're going to get it shined up real good. I may go get a steel brush and really work it over good. That could be part of our problem. And it could be just that the battery's so old it's done. I hope not. It was shipped in April of 2006. It says right there. So this battery is 16 years old. Over 16 years old. Pretty darn good for a battery. I don't know who Case buys their batteries from. It's a Case Magna Power, but it's a good battery, I'll say that. We're going to see if we can bring it back to life. Okay, got the battery totally cleaned up. Got the top of the terminals all shiny. We're going to hook my handy dandy 1970 battery charger up to it. 12 volt, 2 amp for slow charge, and we'll see if we can bring this dude back to life. We've got it sitting on a plastic box. Got it outside and vented. We won't smoke around it, and we plug it in. Well, I left this plugged in overnight and it's not looking good. I've either got a bad battery or a bad battery charger, because this green right here where that dial is right there is where it was when I plugged it in, and it should have moved up here. Well, now we're going to see if this made any difference. I'm thinking not, but you never know. Anytime you're tightening up battery cables like this, I always try to hold the top while I'm tightening, because you can break a post off. So I try not to put a lot of pressure on the post. All right, that's good. Let's see what happens. And just as I thought, no go. One more option. We're going to an auto parts store that is based here where I live. It's called O'Reilly Auto Parts, and they're part of a national chain of auto parts stores. If you've got an O'Reilly in your area, you know who I'm talking about. If they're based here in the Ozarks, about 15 miles from where I am right now is their world headquarters. And they've got a store about 2 miles away from where I live, and you could take them a battery and they'll test it to see if it's any good. And if it's good, you get it back for free. And if it's not good, you can buy a new battery from them or not. No charge for the service. And just so you know, they don't test the battery and say all the batteries are bad. I've taken them 2 batteries. One was bad. The other one was actually needed a charge. Now, I suspect there's a chance that my battery charger is bad. And I may leave the battery with O'Reilly's for them to test it, and then come back in a few hours and they'll let me know if it's any good. If it's good, I'll take it home and put it back on the tractor. If not, we've got to get a new battery. So we're pulling into O'Reilly's parking lot right now. Well, it was nothing but bad news from the guys at O'Reilly. First off, they don't allow yahoos from YouTube to come in and film in their stores without previous approval from their ad agency. And in fact, when I was there, the regional sales manager was there, so I didn't get to film the process. But the really bad news is my battery is toast. It's done. So sad. Well, the new battery is in. I'm not sure if my bereavement was mainly because I lost my old friend of 16 years, the old battery, or because the price of batteries is like doubled or tripled. The day of the $89 tax included battery is long gone, but I got a battery in my tractor, and the last thing I'm going to do is put a little grease over the battery terminals to keep corrosion out. And if you'll do this, this will keep there from being a garden grow on top of your battery cables. last thing I always do because it makes them kind of nasty, but it sure keeps the white garden from growing and keeps your terminals looking good. All right, let's see if we were successful. Yay!